In this tutorial, we are going to look at how to draw an impossible circle in Inkscape 1.0 or in Inkscape in general. When you look at what I have drawn here, it has two parts. It has a purple part and a pink part. They actually look similar. The pink and the purple parts look similar. It's only that one is rotated 180 degrees with respect to the other. If you look at it here, this shape here is what I'm talking about. So what we are going to do is we are going to try to produce this shape, and then we do a duplicate of this shape. We rotate it 180 degrees, and then we put them together to get this what we have here. So to start off, I would suggest you go to Objects, Fill and Stroke to open the Fill and Stroke dialog box here, and then we go to Circle, and then you press the Control key, and then we draw a circle. Now we select the circle, and then we go to Edit, and then we duplicate it. Let's go ahead and change the color of the circle to maybe blue or purple. It's purple, yes. And then we reduce the size of the circle by going to Control and holding this handle here. We want to put it in the middle, but if you are having problems, you just press select the two. So I've selected the smaller one, and then you go to Shift and select also the bigger one. Then you go to Object, Align and Distribute, and then you go to Center on the vertical axis and Center on the horizontal axis to get it directly centered. And then the next thing is you check whether they are both circles are selected, and then you go to Path, and then you do Difference. Now we end up with a ring. You go ahead and then you go to Edit, and then we duplicate this ring. Let's change the color of the ring. You know, if you would notice, the Fill and Stroke we've already opened here, so you can just click it, and then I want to change it, but change this to, let's change it to this color, and then we move it to the right, the duplicate. Okay. Now, if you look at this closely, you can see that there's a small gap here. Obviously, it's not very visible, but there's a small gap here that I would want to close it so it looks very smooth up there. We can do that by drawing just a square. Now, to draw the squares, let's bring these guides here. I select the pink circle, or the first circle I drew, and then I put the guide on it to more or less divide it into two for it to look like it's, yes, here we put it on the handle, and then we go to the next circle. That is the second one we drew, and then I bring another guide there, and then I can go to the square tool, and then I can draw a square here more or less. Let's see here. I think this is okay. Now I don't need the guides, so I bring the guides back to their place. I now select the square that I've drawn, or whether it's a square or a rectangle. We can also, let's make it a square so it's good. Let's see here. I press Ctrl and reduce it. The top part was okay. The height, the width is, we don't have to touch, because the width is important. The height, so let's make the height and the width the same. The width was 9.552, so let's change it here. We can go here and change it so it becomes more or less a perfect square. We have 9.552. So yes, now what we want to do is we select our square and our first circle, or in this diagram our pink one. We select both, and then we go to path, and then we do union. Now it's joined to this. You see, it looks smoother now. Let's have in mind here, this is what we want to produce. So we have here, if you look closely, the bottom part is more or less like a semicircle, or you can say a semi-ring. So we need one of the circles here, and if you look up here, the top part is more or less what we have here as the pink one. So the first thing we have to do is that we get the bottom part. We can do that by using, for example, the second circle, which is really, yes, is exactly the second circle, because this is really just as if we cut it, we are going to get a semi ring or a semi-circle. So we can do that by also let's bring in the guide here to put it here, so we know we are cutting the circle. We are going to cut this circle. Oh, it's not the purple, it's the pink one which is selected. We have to select this. Oh, but it's coincided more or less. Yes, but I move a bit on it. Okay, it's okay, I think. And then we draw a rectangle. We go to the rectangle tool. We draw our rectangle here. To cover it, we select, put here, move it a bit so it coincides with our guide. Now we select the purple circle and the rectangle. So the purple circle and the rectangle, and then we go to path and we do difference. Now you see we have the rounded parts here. Our next objective is to get these ones. To do that, we just select both. We select the semicircle here, and then we select this one here. So we select both, and then we go to path, and then we do difference again. Did I select both? Why this and then that? I select, now I forgot. You have to select, you go to shift, and then you select this and this, and then you go to path, and then you go to difference. Now you see we've done what we wanted to do here. It looks nice. Now the next step we want is to duplicate what we have here. Let's bring this. We don't need this guide here anymore, so we bring it up here. We now have to duplicate this. Let's go on. We select it with our selection tool, and then we go to edit, duplicate. Let's change the color to maybe blue, which gives us purple now, and then we rotate it 180 degrees. The first one 90. If you press this, it rotates it 90, and you press again, you get 180. Now we select it with the second one we've produced, and we put together like this. Now it looks more or less like what we have here. It's just that what is it lacking? It's lacking some. Maybe we should put some stroke on them to make them pop up. You can leave it as it is, but I would put a stroke. So let's put a stroke on. We select this one. We are on this. We go to stroke, and then we put some stroke on. Okay, the stroke is red. Let's change the color of the stroke. I would want maybe to make the stroke darker. Yeah, I think that making it darker is better. I mean, you can play with it, so you can do whichever stroke you want, but I prefer this. And then we go to also the pinkish one. I select it, and then I also put the same stroke on. Now I would also want to put some gradients in it for it to pop up. So let's look at, we select the purple one, and then we go to fill, because it's the fill that I want to put the gradients in. Then we go to gradients. We see we have a gradient here, but I would prefer to have the gradients on top. So we go for our node tool to get this line here, and then if you look closely, there are two small holes here. There are holes here that you can put this in to move the gradient. So we shift the white part up, and then let's shift the darker parts down. I think it looks good. And then we do the same thing for the pink circle. So we select it, we go to gradients, we have our gradients, we go to the node tool, and then we want to shift it as well from the top, the white part to the top, and this one down here. I think it looks good. Let's see what we've done so far. Yeah, it looks nice. If you think it's too big, you can reduce it by. Oh, one thing I forgot. I mean, I have to group them. It's better to group them. So I select everything and go to objects and group, so that in moving them, you don't have the problem of dismantling them or separating them. I think it's good. It looks fine. If you want to reduce it, you can play around with the gradients as well, in case you want to do something more. But I think this was very nice. If you want to reduce it, don't forget control, you select. Yes, now I think it was group. So this is what we get. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel to help me. Thank you. Bye.